Indian clients are very low paying clients. They can't just digest the fact that somebody can make 5,000 rupees in 3 hours, 4 hours, right? But there are 98% of editors who just copy paste one edit here and there. They are gonna go on the internet and some random guy or girl just holding up their camera. It happens.
Trash looking reels with people just holding up the camera with no editing still works.
I'm not saying you can't make money, but then I'm competing with a lot of 14 years old, 15 years old. But I was like, bam, if we can kill this, we can kill anything.
Hey, let's cut the crap.
But I would agree that they are bad at creating personal brand. They would do anything shitty on the camera, any shitty stuff, and they would come to me and.
Hey, let's cut the crap, man. Why do you even think like trash looking reels with people just holding up the camera with no editing still works on Instagram, whereas sometimes even highly edited videos get 0 views? Why do you think that happens?
Okay, that's a really good question. I mean, like a lot of our clients just ask us the same thing. Why do we need to pay you for editing when people can just hold their camera and get millions of views?
Right.
I would say 20% of reels which are, I mean, like, they don't have anything good. They just blew up some random guy or girl just holding up their camera. It happens. It's the algorithm, right? But one key factor that a lot of people miss, and I would take examples of multiple people, but if somebody's, just sort of holding their camera, talking to you, there's a factor called storytelling. A
Right.
lot of people confuses editing with effects.
Right.
So if you see a movie, right, there are almost zero effects, but it's all storytelling here and there. But
True. True.
you don't stop, you don't go to movies to watch those effects, right? You go to watch the storytelling. And
Right.
even in the videos, the shit videos, you can say, right, the plain blend videos,
Right.
they have a lot of connection and storytelling in them, and that's why it just blew up.
That definitely makes a lot of sense. So you would also argue that pre-production, like product producing before the scripts and everything, are also a very important part, as similar level as scripts, because sometimes the editor might be so good that just drives views, or sometimes the script might be so good that can just drive views. Like, do you agree with that?
100%, man. Like, even if you hire the best editor, and if your script is like shit, then nobody can save the video, because a lot of editors and a lot of new creators as well, they sort of confuse between, making a video look good and actually making a good video. If you want to make a good video, you really need to work on pre-production, scripting, ideation, and then editing would, make it look better, make it look good.
Right.
But if you're not good at scripting, editing can never save you. And if you're very good with scripting, right, and if you can't sort of able to hold people visually, if your video just does not look good, people won't stop, no matter how good or how valuable you are going to talk later. But if you can't hook them,
At the
so
start.
that's when editing comes in, right? So they are both equally important. If you just focus on one thing, I think it just becomes difficult for a lot of people.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, like that's what we think for our clients as well. It's like it's always good to have both of them on your side, right? Why go with anyone? And like, what do you think, Amay? Like, do you think like 90% of editors currently that are in the market, because it's such a big market, mostly they are just copy and paste editors who take one effect, put it in there, who take one effect, put it in their templates and all that shit. Like, what do you think like actually builds good editors who are not just copy and paste workers but actual creators in their editing space? Like, what do you think that separates them? You work with so many creators, right?
Yeah. Oh, wow. Wow. And I talk about this a lot in my mentorship, right? And I would just, correct you there. There are like not 90% of the editors, there are 98% of editors who just copy paste one edit here and there. They are gonna go on the internet and copy, like, how to do Iman Ghazi style, Ali Abdal style, ABCD.
Oh, that's
And
yeah,
yeah. And
that's
I would say there are like two phases to it. First of all is like, they like it, they just go it, they copy it, and they just put it in their portfolio. And now not their edits, but their portfolio also looks the same, right?
right.
And that's when they struggle to make money, because now if let's say 10 editors are there, 9 of them only knows one style, then you have only one thing to compete on, and that is price. Whoever
Mm.
gives it for the cheapest, they make no money.
Right.
So one thing that was like, what do people with like us or other 1% or 2% editor does is like, only editing is a skill, but you
Right.
also need to learn more of the touch points, like
Mm.
how do you storytell? How do you sort of, connect with the brand of your client,
Mm.
right? How do you also identify a visual style, right? That is unique to them.
Right.
You can learn the effects and put it using some of your creativity, because at the end of the day, you are a creative person.
Right. Like it's like the creator whom you're editing it for is a creator, but you are the creator who is supporting him. Right.
True, man. That's
Absolutely.
100% correct.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
So just going back to the point, man, like talking about the one person editors like you that we have here is like everybody, like this is some pattern that I have noticed. Everybody at the end of the day, all the creators, everybody who's start out with freelancing, and 90% of them are usually editors. Like अब जो freelancing कर रहा है वो editing एक बार तो किया है, like that just happens. So how, just a question, personal question to you, how did you get into editing? What was your story?
Wow. Okay, so
Hmm.
this might be a long answer for you guys, but I'll try to keep it short. So when I was in my school, right, I used to
Hmm.
love to play games. I have played PUBG. I think you have also played PUBG.
Yeah, absolutely. Who hasn't?
Every sane 15-year-old has played PUBG.
Right.
I also started playing PUBG, and then once I was done with PUBG, I started streaming as well.
Oh, I did too. Oh, I had the same story. Yeah, go ahead, go ahead. I'm more than happy to listen. Yeah.
Wow, man. So I did streaming as well, man.
Hmm.
And a lot of people knows that I grew my YouTube channel to 10K subscribers on streaming.
Oh, wow. That,
Wow. And
uh,
then I was like,
hmm.
wow, okay. So when you do that, money starts to kick in, and okay, wow, right? And that's when I was like, okay, I really like this, because then after
Hmm.
sorry, I mean, like, then after streams you have to make highlights, you have
Right.
to make reels, real short form out of it, right?
Right.
And that's when I used to do it, and I was like, wow, क्या खेला हूँ मैं? I'm like, what a player I am. And when I used to create those highlight and everything, I was like, okay, wow, this is interesting. And
Hmm.
that's when I started editing for myself.
Hmm.
And then when later people saw my videos and everything, they came to me like, you do it very good. Who is your editor? I was like, it's me. And that's when I started to make money, and then started doing vlogs, and then I took it from there, and
Hmm.
then sort of evolved with time as to what the market wants, what the market demands, and then sort of shifted to, okay, doing edits, and then sort of going to an agency form of it,
Hmm.
and that's how it went, right? And I mean, like, this also has an answer to the previous question, right? I think one of the major reason why I was able to make money that I'm currently able to make is adapting to the market demand.
Hmm. Could you
A
go more
lot
in
of
depth into it?
sorry?
Could you go more in depth into it? Like, how? What do you mean by market demand?
Yeah, absolutely. So market demand is basically what the current market needs from you. A lot of editors, I would say, and not just editors, a lot of creative person, they just get too much blend into their art, right? That they
Hmm.
forget that they also have to, let's say, make money out of it. If you don't want to make money out of it, if you're just doing it for yourself, do whatever you want,
Hmm.
right? That's fine. So to give you an example,
Right.
currently we work with, top realtors
Hmm.
and also a lot of creators, right?
Hmm.
And they have enough good money to pay us, right? But
Right.
if I were to stick to, no, I only want to create PUBG highlights, because I started
Hmm.
there,
Right.
right? I only want to do it. And I'm not saying you can't make money in that,
Hmm.
but then I'm competing with a lot of 14 years old, 15 years old kids who are just doing it out of passion. And I
Right.
am doing it as a business.
Right.
So Nikhil Kamath said it on his podcast as well, right?
Hmm.
That don't go into any industry where
Hmm.
a lot of passionate people are competing,
Hmm.
because they don't care about the money.
Hmm. Hmm. True.
But in business, and you would also agree, after a point, you need to make the money come in.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is what also I think is like for editors or creative people, what we can do. Like this is a great point you pointed out is like you yourself are passionate about it. That's fine. Now what, like we are creative people, we are passionate about it. Now we cannot avoid, like Nikhil Kamath said, but we can pick that audience who are not who are not a passionate audience, like doing video
Hmm.
editing for let's say garage companies. Like nobody's passionate about garage companies, they're passionate for cars. So
Yeah.
mix it somewhere there, and like you can just make money at the same time have less competition. That makes a lot more sense. Definitely. So, like Amay, you said like you got your first client through like they just reached out to you, or how was that story of your first client? Like everybody has a great first client story, right?
Wow. So, and I'll tell you. So I since I was, doing this
Hmm.
online streaming,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So we were in a community of a lot of editors. Oh, sorry,
Right.
a lot of streamers.
Hmm.
I was in a community of, and they were always looking for, people who can edit. Now, with the problem with a lot of kids, or I would say editors back then, is like they watch the stream, they like some part of it, but and you are a social media expert yourself, so a content that you like as a viewer,
Hmm.
you think that you like it because the content is good, but there's a lot of strategy goes like the hook, the
Right.
part, and which you understand that goes viral, right?
Right.
So a lot of editors didn't have that mindset.
Hmm.
And since I was also streaming, I was also making content, I knew
Hmm.
what's gonna go up, right? So
Hmm.
that's when there was a guy, I might not name her right now, right?
Yeah.
But I can say that she is one of the biggest female streamer right now.
Oh,
So yeah,
can I
so I
guess the
started
name
working.
though?
You can guess it.
Is it? Is it? Okay, so, but like I left PUBG so long ago. But let me guess. Is it Payal?
Yeah.
Oh
So,
wow. Okay. So okay. Damn.
so
There were two female streamers I looked up to. That's great, man.
yeah,
Shit.
but
You.
but
Yeah. Hmm. Go ahead.
yeah, but I'll tell you the catch, and it
Hmm.
was a very via,
Oh.
right?
Okay.
So Payal has a manager, right?
Hmm.
And my friend was her manager friend, right? So
Ah.
it's like a long chain that was built.
Yeah.
And my friend told Payal's manager that, okay, I know this guy because they are
Hmm.
always looking for editors,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? And because she's like the biggest streamer, I have her in my portfolio as well,
Wow.
right? Yeah. So, and that's where I was, okay, wow, boom.
Right.
So that's when I started, and I was like, bro, if I can do this,
Hmm.
I mean, like, though it was not a direct outreach, it was through a networking,
Hmm.
I would say. But I was like, bam, if we can kill this, we can kill anything.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. Like nobody, like this is the point that you put out really nicely, is like editors nowadays they think it's all about effects and everything, but when you can separate just good looking videos from good performing videos, there's where you make real money, right? So what do you think is like, let's talk about reels right now. What do you think makes a reel actually viral from an editor's perspective? What would you say that would be?
I think, from an editor's perspective,
Hmm.
stop thinking like an editor,
Okay, why
right?
do that and go more in depth into it? I like how you started.
Yeah. When you think like an editor,
Hmm.
you just stop all the possibilities of making it viral. Now that's, as I mentioned before, right?
Hmm.
Now it's all about how good looking can you make it.
Hmm.
It's like showing off how good am I as an editor. It's not the case.
Hmm.
Try to understand it as a creative person, right?
Right.
If it's a storytelling video, right, your
Right.
effects don't matter. Nobody cares about how good After Effects
Hmm.
right?
True.
Editing should always only help the story look better and not overpower the story, right?
Hmm.
So if it's a talking head video, right, and you want to do it, and the let's say you want to make it look super good, do it. But if it's a storytelling video, a lot of your conscious effort should be in sound effects, and I would say, making the good cuts,
Hmm.
and not just effect. And this is where also a lot of editors slip up, right? Because they are just thinking like an editor,
Right.
and they just want to impress their client. They want to go ahead and tell them, okay, there's no effect in this world that I don't know, right? I
I've
am
seen
the
that.
Bahubali of this industry. Pay
Hmm.
me 50 rupees more, I will do everything for you. That is a wrong mindset,
Hmm.
right? And
Right.
that is when people need to realize that, okay,
Hmm.
have a look at the video, understand, go through the script, and I can bet, like, we work with a lot of editors. 90% of editors
Mm.
never bother to open the script. They don't
Wow.
care,
Mm.
right? And that
Yeah.
should not be the case.
Mm.
Go
This
through
is,
the script.
yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry to interrupt you, but this is also something I've seen with the clients as well. As much as like editors themselves don't care, the clients also don't try to make them care. Like when we hired our editors, so I have this really cool guy named Ranit, like he's our content head. So not does he only care about, like when we work with him, we have a brainstorming session with just the client. We can do this, we can do that. I think a lot of creators miss that point. They don't brainstorm with the editors. They have in their head कि मेरे को ऐसा video चाहिए. They want this, but the editors don't even know what they want, and that's a very
that's
big
true.
disconnect. I think they feel. What do you think about that?
That's true.
So
No,
how do you
man,
think
that's
that can?
true.
How do you think that can be fixed, man? How can
Man,
creators fix that with the editors?
man, that's a really good point, right? And I think as an editor, I think you should try to bring that up. Cause I'll tell you one more thing,
Hmm.
right? When you are just an editor, when you're thinking as an editor, and I might mention this, I don't know, probably multiple times around the podcast,
That's
right?
right.
And that is like, stop thinking like an editor. When
Right.
you're just an editor, you are a vendor.
Hmm.
Don't be a vendor to your clients, right?
Right.
And I would say, like, we also sort of, when we are working with the clients, we always storyboard with them, and if not
Hmm.
storyboard, we storyboard by ourselves. We go have a chat about how the video gonna look like, and then when everybody's satisfied, we move ahead, right? But
Right.
the problem with the editors are, like, clients don't tell them, right? The creators don't tell them to, hop on the meeting, do it.
Right.
But editors also don't take initiative.
Hmm.
So I would say to the editor, do more from your end, take
Hmm.
initiative. Because I don't believe that if you go and, let's say, tell your client or the creator, hey man, I have a good plan ready for the video, I would love to
Right.
discuss that with you, can you do it? I barely think nobody's going to say no.
Absolutely.
Do
Absolutely.
you think, though, do you think, would you say no to your editor if he does that?
Definitely. I don't actually. That's why I asked you the question because I actually was shocked when I heard that other clients don't. Like, bro, what? Why
Hmm.
don't you? Right. So that brings me to the next question. Like, what do you think makes a good creator from an editor's lens? Not like a good creator who communicates. Yeah, that's one point. But if I'm a creator and I'm taking in an editor, what, like, for example, I'm hiring you, for example, what do you think you would say is this guy is a better creator because of this? From an editor's lens, what do you think that is?
So do you think, in terms of an ideal client or ideal creator?
Ideal creator.
Ideal creator.
Right.
Man, I would say, if and I mean, like, we have worked with multiple creators,
Hmm.
so talking from experience is like, anybody who, sort of understand
Hmm.
that one video
Right.
has multiple legs to it.
Hmm.
And I think we discussed that in the beginning, is like, scripting is also important, editing is also important, your social media SEO is also important, right? And
Hmm.
multiple metrics is also important, right? Which you are a master of, right? So I think those things are
Right.
important. A creator who understands that,
Hmm.
that is a really good creators on my lens. Because a lot of people just come to us, I mean, like, used to come to us, now we don't take them anymore. And
Hmm.
that is like, they are like, they would do anything shitty on the camera, any shitty script, and they would come to me, and they feel like, okay, now he's a magician, he'll just he'll just I don't know, probably he's gonna get me more views than Mr. Beast. I'll pay him extra 10,000 rupees, that's fine,
Hmm.
do some magic.
Hmm.
and
Right.
and that's like the worst expectation a creator can have from anybody in the team. It could be a
Hmm.
script writer, editor, or I don't know, probably a social media guy.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
somebody who understands that, there are multiple factors involved with one video.
Hmm.
Yeah, that would be it.
Yeah, I was about to ask this question, but you answered it already. Like, I was about to ask you that, do you think editing is everything? Because a lot of people think, like, they think, I'll hire an editor, I'll talk in front of the camera, and I'm done. But that's a big false conception that people have. Yeah, on Instagram, Reels, short form, long form, any sort of content that is. Otherwise, like, big movies won't have this much of big of a budget. They would hire a VFX team and be like, "Bana do sab kuch," right?
Yeah, yeah, that's
Right.
true. That's true. again, I mean, like I would say that there are like two factors to it, right?
Hmm.
And I would say, and the reason, I mean, like you asked, like, why does an editor start somewhere and then just grows?
Right.
And why does everybody starts from, being an editor?
Hmm.
Because I think the demand is massive,
Hmm.
massive. I
Hmm.
mean, like as a creator, who's the first person you would hire?
An editor. Yeah.
An editor, right?
Right.
So the editing industry demand is insane,
Hmm.
right? And it's true that only a good edit can't take your video from 0 to 100,
Hmm.
but a good creative person who is an editor
Hmm.
can take your video from 0 to 70 if
Absolutely.
he knows what he is doing.
Absolutely. That's such a great answer. Now, coming back to that is like which, because a lot of beginners who are editors or what, let's say who just joined a team of a creator or a creator who's watching this video, like there's a recent trend of retention editing, like just
Hmm.
put off all the effects, and that's a very high paid skill in general. Like people do pay a lot. Now, as a performance side or a creator side, do you think like it's just BS, or do you think like there is some good part to it? Like, what is your reaction to it?
Okay, so there's definitely good money to it, right?
Yeah.
Part we can talk about. So, so retention editing, I would say, of course, people are gonna pay a lot of money because it's very complex,
Hmm.
right? No, it's very tough for a beginner to do it, and I don't even suggest beginners go and try that, right? Just
Hmm.
because of the money part of it, right? So it has good money. Talking about situation, it depends, right?
Hmm.
For let's say Shubhankar is a guy. Shubhankar teach people personal branding, helps coaches, right?
Hmm.
Shubhankar's content already holds a lot of value, and if let's say Shubhankar is sort of putting out a trailer or launching a program,
Hmm.
then he definitely needs to go on with retention rating, because
Hmm.
then the aim is to get eyes and everything. But not every videos of Shubhankar needs to be in that manner, right?
Right. Right.
Because the value and the way, because it has multiple legs
Hmm.
again,
Hmm.
right? But if there's a creator, let's say, who is an editor himself, or let's say
Hmm.
somebody who is sort of making an, like us,
Hmm.
video marketing agency, right? Or somebody else, they can do retention editing because of
Hmm.
two reasons. First of all, their video itself looks great, fantastic, and
Right.
there's also a concept, right? Let's say if somebody can do a very high level edit,
Hmm.
you already expect them ki, okay, I only need medium level, they
Hmm.
can easily do it,
Right. True.
right? So it builds a perception, and it also helps you get a lot of clients for both easy edits, medium edits, and of
Hmm.
course high retention, high paying edits.
Hmm.
And yeah, man, that's there. But again, I think there's also positioning involved in that.
Hmm. So, what do you mean by position?
Positioning as in like, again, positioning as like how valuable can you come through,
Hmm.
right? How valuable can you sort of, sell yourself, make yourself look?
Hmm.
Because I'll tell you, we got paid $500
Hmm.
for one video,
Hmm.
10 minutes, green screen.
That's a big close. That's like 40,000 rupees for just green screen.
Just a green screen. I mean, like the guy's talking.
Hmm.
There's a green screen,
Hmm.
right? And it was a tutorial
Hmm.
that they were supposed to, and I'll tell you how we sold it, right? So they were sort of looking for freelancers here and there, and everybody was just quoting them, like probably like 5,000 rupees, 7,000 rupees. And when I quoted them $500,
Hmm.
they were like, bang, bro, are you crazy? Is there one extra zero in the code? And I was like, no. So, and this is where a lot of editors slip up. I did
Right.
not tell him that I can edit it that way, this way.
Hmm.
Wow, this is fantastic. But instead, I told him the importance of the edit. I
Hmm.
told him that, hey, this is a tutorial video. You're going to show it to your employees, right?
Right.
Aren't your employees your biggest investment and
Hmm.
also your biggest asset? And not just that, if you have put in a lot of effort in making this video, shooting this, and normally you don't shoot videos because normally corporate people don't do it, right?
Right.
So I just pointed that out, that you have put in so much effort and putting the video, and This has a lot of value.
Hmm.
Do you think $400 would be a big loss, or the whole point of the video and the whole information not getting conveyed the way you want it? What do you think is a
Hmm.
bigger loss? And like
That's such a
you're
good
like,
sales close. Yeah. So see,
yeah, man.
that brings me to a point, man. Like editors currently are just editors who are people just selling a service. Do you think like brings me to the point of like perception and in general, like having good work is obviously important, but also a reason why editors get paid so less is one of the reasons is they don't have the good positioning in the market. So what would you say is like that one or two things that editors really need to learn that could really increase their price?
That can help them make more
Yeah,
money.
absolutely. Quote more, like except knowing the skill better and having it all the thing in their portfolio. What in general in positioning way can they do to like improve the way they make money?
That's a really good question. That's a really good question, right? I mean, like there are multiple factors, but I'm thinking about the top two, right?
Hmm.
Huh.
Does a personal brand help?
I think if as an editor you can do
Hmm.
personal branding is the best thing you can do.
Why do you
Cause
say that?
when yeah,
Yeah.
cause when I created my personal brand, and I would say the last time I outreached to a client was probably I think 9 months ago, or
Hmm.
even before that, right?
Hmm.
I get so many inbound leads, so many people wanting to work with me, paying me my prices,
Hmm.
and I even have to say no to people. So if you can create a personal brand, bro, you are sorted for life,
Right. Right. But
right?
don't you think like a lot of editors are shit at creating personal brands?
They are because I think there's one notion that probably people who pick editing, and I
Hmm.
won't say all of them, most of them are happen to be an introvert, right?
Hmm.
They wanna mostly sit at the back end of the job, do it quietly, don't show
Hmm.
their face, and everything like that. They do create stories here and there, which help,
Right.
but I would agree that they are bad at creating personal brand, because when it comes to thinking out and thinking more
Like a
than just
creator.
an editor,
Yeah.
yeah, they just sort of suffer. But
Yeah.
whenever I mentor people, I always sort of inspire them to
Hmm.
do it. If you are not comfortable showing your face, it's fine, right?
Hmm.
Do it
Hmm.
in writing, go
Hmm.
on LinkedIn, go on
Right.
Twitter, right? Even go hire a mentor like probably Shubhankar, learn from him. It's fine, right? So take help wherever you can
Hmm.
and do in all the forms possible.
So yeah, I mean, let's also talk a bit about Instagram in general, Instagram personal branding. How you said that using storytelling in your reels is very important. In your videos in general is very important. So how do you think editors can use or creators in general can use more storytelling in their reels?
So I think to storytell, you need to understand the story first.
Hmm.
You can never just have the best effects and tell a story. No, that's not
Right.
how it works, right? And there's a concept in editing, it's called show not tell.
Hmm.
So what that basically means is, like, whatever the speaker is trying to sort of get to,
Hmm.
try to visualize it instead of just putting in captions and something like that. Of course, caption is a great way of engaging,
Hmm.
right? But let's say if somebody's talking about India,
Hmm.
so instead of just having a text India,
Hmm.
try to showcase the map to some effect that you feel like is good, and help the viewer visualize, because story is all about getting to people, helping them understand what you are trying to say in the easiest form possible. As
Right.
an editor, that's the best you can do,
Right.
because of course story holds a lot more importance in scripting as well. But
Hmm.
as an editor, this is how you can play in storytelling, make
Hmm.
it better for the audience to understand, right?
Hmm.
Oh wow, okay. If it's on mute, if I don't know, even I can't understand this language, if I
Hmm.
see that visual,
Hmm.
right, it's very clear to me that, like, okay, wow, this guy is talking about India.
Hmm.
That should be the case.
Right. Right. That makes so much sense. You reminded me
Yeah.
something from India, by the way. It's an off topic. So, by going back to the point for editors who are trying to build personal brands or close more clients, do you think like Indian clients in general lowball their editors, or do you think like editors just don't know how to pitch, or like what do you think about that?
So are you asking that Indian clients are low paying clients?
I'm asking you that. And do editors, is it because like Indian clients in general are low paying clients, or just editors don't know how to pitch? What's the case in general?
I think Indian clients are very low paying clients,
Hmm.
but only 10% of them,
Hmm.
right? Because a lot of creators, right, when they're just starting out, and we have also come through like these clients in the very beginning,
Right.
they want to maximize for the hours, right?
Hmm.
So they are not very happy if I give them a video in 5 hours. They would be like, Arey, I paid you 5,000 rupees, you did it in 5 hours. They can't just digest the fact that somebody can make 5,000 rupees in 3 hours, 4 hours,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
But there's only like 10% of them. Currently, we work with founders and creators who are sort of established. They are way more happy to pay you more money if you can even get things done faster.
Right.
Because I think it also comes down to mindset, right? And it's not just Indian mindset, I would say. It's the mindset of, people who are sort of playing the beginner's game, or, are at, I would say, the beginner's level. They have this notion of, if I'm paying somebody, let's say 25,000 rupees,
Hmm.
they should just work so much, put in so much hours, do it, and be there for a month. So that's where the problem comes in, right?
Hmm.
But as you move up the ladder,
Hmm.
right, people are going to pay you more, and they are more than happy
Hmm.
if you can do it, like, sort of, I would say, in
Faster.
less time, because it
Right.
saves them, yeah, it saves them the time, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, man.
And just to add
Before,
to
yeah,
that,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, add. No, no, add to it.
Okay. So just to say that, like, I'll go little side topic here. If you could start your business with the clientele you choose, and one side you had India and one side you had the US, which client base would you never choose?
I would choose not to answer.
Shit, my traffic.
but 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 a lot of people get the point. I
Yeah.
would I would choose to work with Indian clients
Hmm.
who understand the importance of my work.
That's such a politically correct answer. Like politically, like, आराम से side से निकल गए. Like that's great. Okay.
I think everything that's going around the country, this is the safest I can be. Okay, so
Man.
I have one question for you, Shubhankar.
Okay,
Right.
go ahead.
So so you touched upon personal branding, man.
Hmm.
Right. And I mean, like, man, you are very inspiring. Like, you are very young. You are doing this great thing in
Thank you.
personal branding. Right. So I would love to understand from you, and I would love to tell your viewers, right?
Hmm.
So you are currently a 17 years old, right?
Right.
So a lot of people are, having fun in the college, and that's nothing wrong with that, and they are living that life. But how
Hmm.
did you sort of even thought of doing this, sacrificing all the life, sacrificing all the college fun, and want
Hmm.
to be like, I want to be an entrepreneur, I don't care? Bro, tell us your story.
Okay, let's go off topic for like 2 minutes and then we'll go back. Is in general, when I was in school, I don't have that story where it's like I hate school, बिल्कुल पसंद नहीं, people are bad. Like usually the story is I don't mix in, but I had really fun in school. I probably would have had really good fun in college as well, but that's not true to my being. Like you started out, let's take the game example. I like, played a lot of PUBG, but I was more interested in building organizations related to PUBG, hosting the games and all. That is what I was interested in. I liked building stuff, so I would sacrifice anything that comes in my way, that except keeping me sane, like stuff like personal lives and all. I would sacrifice anything that comes in my way. So it's like, yeah, do I have to sacrifice a little bit of fun? Yeah, but at the same time, am I sacrificing my friends? Probably not. But at the same time, I'm enjoying what I'm doing because I like to do what I'm doing is the reason I don't feel like it's work, right? So you have probably felt it, like some clients come and he's like, bro, this just happened. That feeling is crazy. No college degree is gonna do it, right? So I would rather have that fun than having the fun of going to college, and that cuts, like, basically save my peace of mind and go to the place that I want to. That would be my 2 segment answer to it.
Yeah. And were you saying?
No, but
Yeah. So and like since you are doing really good, right? Financial independence comes with it. So how does that feel when you got the I would say the first paycheck, or I don't know, making money as a
you answer
teenager?
that
How does it
question.
feel?
You answer that question. How I am just new to this, man. I'm feeling it right now. How did you feel when you started? Because you're way older than me, way more experienced. You tell me.
Yeah.
I would like to
When
know.
I'll tell you, but I would love to know your
Okay,
story
good.
first, and then I'll tell you mine.
So the first time that I got my, like, my first paycheck was like good amount was, I started with 10 rupees, 20 rupees shit. Like I was doing graphic designing, but I'll not consider that. I consider my 3,000 rupees that I sold to a friend. Same thing you did. He was like starting a course business kind of stuff. I was like, bro, like if you don't have a website, what are you gonna do? Where are you gonna sell your course at? And I convinced a 10 class 10 12 he was an 11 class 11 student to pay me 3,000 rupees to just copy paste a WordPress website. So that happened, and that is where I got my first paycheck from. And I was like, cash, like in the school they're just passing me the cash in an envelope, and I was like, this feels good. So that was my,
Wow.
pretty cliche, but yeah, that was that. How, what was yours, by the way?
Okay, man. So I'll tell you. Okay, so I'll tell you my first editing paycheck,
Go
right?
ahead.
I think that would make more sense,
Go ahead.
right?
Hmm.
So when I was just streaming and everything, right?
Hmm.
So a first client, and I can't reveal money for that because we had an I would say
NDA.
non-disclosure. But I'll tell you the second client that we got, right?
Hmm.
And I used to, and he's also a very big creator,
Hmm.
right? Currently, and he's a big Omegle creator,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? His name probably, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I did work with him probably years ago,
Hmm.
right?
Sure.
So that creator,
Hmm.
right? I used to work with him, and he used to pay me 200 rupees per reel.
The humble
A-
days of beginning.
and I'll tell you, I was so happy getting 1,000 rupees for
Hmm.
5 videos. I was like, wow,
I
bro,
know
I
that
I
feeling.
can buy 3 celebrations together, have them, bro.
The
No,
realization.
yeah, man. Yeah,
Hmm.
man. I mean, like it was insane. It was insane. And I even got paid like documentary edits, right? You know,
Hmm.
documentary edits. During
Right.
the same time, one guy reached out to me for documentary edits, and he told me, "I'm gonna pay you 1,000 rupees per minute."
Arey baap.
I
Wow,
was
that
like,
might be a big shift.
yeah, that was like, wow, matlab, wow, 1 minute, 1,000 rupees. Wow, I can do anything. I can do anything. I can
Three,
do Mr. Beast.
three celebrations per minute.
3 celebrations per minute, bro.
बहुत पैसा. Yeah,
For
yeah.
and and he even told me that, you know,
Hmm.
our videos are gonna be 10 minutes long. And I was like, 10,000 rupees one video. Bro, I don't know. Ambani, I don't know. I feel like I'm Ambani at that point. But then when he got the sample done for me, right?
Hmm.
He paid me like 500 rupees that okay, I'll pay 50%.
Hmm.
And when he sent the actual video,
Hmm.
he was expecting something like Magnets Media.
So last question to you, Amay, is what would you say to editors who are just starting out in 2025, and how can they build their own personal brand and build that perception for themselves?
Start posting on Instagram, no matter what. Start posting on Instagram, right? And don't try to be perfect.
Hmm.
You will get so many clients, and it's very easy to close inbound clients as compared to, when you are reaching out to somebody. Because if somebody is reaching out to you, you already have some leverage, right? They
Right.
want to work with you. So it already eliminates a lot of barriers, like, hey, I'm a video editor, I want to work with you, I have 70 years of experience. Nobody wants that. So
True.
build a personal brand and stop thinking just like an editor. Think as a creative person who can drive results. Because let's be honest, it's very tough for you to go to $5,000 a per month, right? It's very tough
Hmm.
to go $5,000 per month
Hmm.
just by being a video editor. It's possible.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying it's not possible, but if you can have, additional skills like storytelling, scripting, a bit here and there,
Hmm.
right? And also have your personal brand, which just conveys that, okay, you know what you're doing.
Hmm.
It just becomes very easier to do that.
Absolutely. Okay, Amay, it was great having such a big chat with you. I think people would want you to come again. There is a lot of editors that are starting out, and everybody wants to know more about editing in general and personal branding and charging more, making more money. So I really appreciate you coming here, man. And let's hit out a podcast soon enough once again. Thank you, man. I'll see you soon.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Shubhankar. It was lovely chatting with you, right? I would love to talk to you very soon, right? This was amazing
Absolutely.
for me.
Absolutely. Okay, guys, round of applause for Amay, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.